Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an in-depth drag makeup tutorial. These are the tips, tricks, and techniques that I have picked up over my 4 years of doing drag. By no means the best techniques or the only way to do drag. This is simply just what I found works for me, and I am sharing that with you. Yeah, I'm gonna just get right into it. The first step to a good drag makeup application that I think is often overlooked is shaving. And what I'm talking about is not just shaving, it's the type of razor you use. You want to use a razor that has multiple blades, that is high quality, that is going to give you that really good close shave, because the closer your shave is, the better your foundation is going to sit on your face. So I like using the Gillette ones. One thing I've also found is with shaving for drag makeup, it's very important that you take your razor and you go actually against the grain. It's gonna feel a little bit weird at first if you're not used to it. It might make you break out a little bit depending on your skin type, but if your skin is hardy like mine, this is the best way to really get that close shave that is going to give you some immaculate looking skin in drag. Blocking your brows well. Take your Elmer's Disappearing Purple. Don't get the large size, get the small size. You want it to be precise so you can get just where you need and not get extra glue everywhere. I don't have super thick brows, so this is my technique. If you have thicker brows, you might have to comb them, but I just go with the grain and I press hard, and I don't do my whole brow. I leave the front part to start my drag brow, and I just press and drag. Now we're gonna do the other side. All right, so that is the start of our brow coverage. Now, while that's happening, I'm gonna prime my face. Skin Benefit Porefessional. I'm just going to pop that in around my nose and a few problem spots. I like to use a very hydrating primer for my face since drag makeup is so heavy, and for me, that is the Too Faced Hangover Primer. So I'm gonna just take that on the back of my hand and get my face nice and primed for foundation. You can see my brows are already starting to dry. Drag, 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 pressing hard. Next part of brow coverage is translucent powder. My favorite translucent powder for drag is Cotte Airspun. It's just the best, also cheap, and you can get it at Walgreens. So on a velour powder puff, take some of that and then press. Feel free to use a generous amount. All right, so you should look a little crazy like this, and that's how you know that you are on the right track. Next thing I'm gonna do is take a large fluffy brush and I'm going to fluff the excess. Some people prefer to use a thick foundation. I like using a liquid foundation and just adding lots of powder. Mine of choice is Wet n Wild Photofocus. It's just what works well for me. I've been using this for like a couple of years now. I like the applicator as well, so I will just slap that on sort of haphazardly. Once we have a generous amount on, we're gonna take a blending sponge. This is the Real Techniques. These are my favorite. And we're just gonna bounce. So how's everyone doing? How's life? How are you holding up amidst this global pandemic, amidst this election? Oh my goodness, this is a crazy year. Actually, you know what? On second thought, let's not talk about it. We can just focus on makeup and not worry about our trouble. If you look something like this, you're doing it right. And that is just the first layer. We'll go back over that. Also, you want to make sure that you're taking it down your neck. One of the things with drag makeup is your foundation doesn't really have to be a perfect natural color, because we're gonna put on so much drastic highlighting and contouring anyways. It's gonna all come together by the end of this. So the next part of brow coverage that I like to do is to take a powder foundation. This is MAC's Studio Fix on a powder puff, velour powder puff, and press that in again. It's a little hard for you to tell, but these are pretty well covered now. So at this point, I'm gonna take concealer, the Maybelline Age Rewind. I'm gonna place that concealer over it as well on my lid space, upper brow, and under the eye. Like so. It's all about get the product on your face and then worry about what you're gonna do with it. Dimensions that we want to highlight are starting to form in my face. It's all about first you erase your features and then you're gonna start bringing them back. And so now we essentially are like this. At this point, I like to get rid of my hair and I like to put a hat, keep my hair out of my way, and so I can focus on what I'm doing. All right. So now that we have our beginning of our base done, we're gonna start defining. So I'm gonna take some cream contour. The wig is gonna give you a different hairline already, so you don't need to worry about going too hard on your forehead to minimize it, because the wig is gonna do a lot of that for you, if you're wearing a wig, that is. And now I'm going to take that color and I'm going to do my jaw. Just swipe and then blend down. See the difference there? With nothing versus with, it's subtle, but it's gonna soften my jawline because I have a fairly square, masculine jawline. So the goal with this is to soften my jawline, give myself a bit of double chin coverage, and just sort of zhuzh up the perimeter of my face. I'm just using a liquid white foundation. I'm gonna take that and pop it right in the center and blend that out. I only want this in the center of my face and under the eyes. And you should look somewhat like this. The top of the lip and the noseabial creases that we have going on. And there. So that is what we have going on. It is time to set all this. You want to press that powder in to the liquid product and keep it there. You don't just want the powder sitting on top of the product, you want it married to the product. The perimeter and the neck. I think eyebrows are one of the most important parts of drag. They can either make or break a look. I use like a million different products for my drag brows, but I like to start with the basic shape with a lip liner. I'm gonna sketch up, and then I'm gonna curve down. And that's the very basic shape of my brow. That's where I'm at right now. Just to get a base started, I'll fill that in. And I do the front a little bit differently, which you'll see in a minute. They don't look amazing yet, but you're gonna see what happens. So from here on out, I'm going to stop using the lip liner and I'm gonna start using other products for my brows. So this is the Juvia's Place Warrior palette, selection of neutrals, and these are what I like to use to finish my brows. This also is gonna give my brows a lot of stay power and make sure that they stay where they are. They're not gonna transfer, they're not gonna bleed off. Because another thing about drag makeup is you need to be able to sweat through it if you're a performer. Because you are gonna put on a wig, you're gonna put on a costume, you're gonna dance your ass off. You can see that's starting to take much more of a shape. This is NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in the shade Blonde. So when people sketch in their brows completely, they can look very, very fake at the front. And also you have to make sure you get them, you know, distanced and lined up right. And it just, to me, it just overcomplicates it. I'm gonna define the tails. We're gonna start at the curve, like so. I'm going to take a small angle brush. I'm gonna get in there and we're going to carve out the brow and define underneath. Also, cutting the tail So we're making it much more precise, and then blend that. We're gonna press. You don't want that concealer going anywhere. To take a liquid liner, and I like to create some strokes on the brow. That adds quite a bit, I think. For me, that is the hardest part of drag, is just getting my eyebrows to where I'm happy with them. That's what I spend the most amount of time on, and the rest I just sort of do it. I'm gonna take a bronze, a big fluffy brush, forehead. Do my cheek. I don't want to give you a harsh line. I want to give you a soft but fierce cheek. And I'm softening the jaw, taking that down the neck, buffing this cheek as well. Again, using my Juvia's Place Warrior palette, I'm going to take this very light shade here, and we're just going to start fluffing that into the crease. This is our transition shade. There, and you can see my lid is starting to take shape. Then next I'm going to take this a little bit darker shade. It's also a very warm tone on a smaller brush. I'm taking my favorite eyeliner, Kat Von D tattoo liner. It's just really good, and it doesn't, you know, doesn't get messed up that easily. It's easy for a liner to go badly, and part of the key is to start small, because you can always add, but you can't take it away. But not too far, about there. And so with that little flick, my eye is elongated. I'm not super worried about the underneath right now, because I'm going to blend that out, and I'm not worried about that crease line there either, because I will blend that out as well. There. So very slight, very subtle, but that is going to really transform the eye. I'm going to take that transition shade again on a small bullet brush, and I'm just going to feather that under the eye. Hugging the lash line. Hugging the waterline, I should say. Take that to almost the center, but not quite. And I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker right there. And then up here, I'm gonna take that all the way in the waterline. Then we're gonna repeat that on the other eye. We're gonna darken the crease above. And I'm really concentrating on keeping that tight, not taking it too high, too wide, or too close. Actual black shade on a small bullet brush. Keep that really close. Now to blend it all together, I'm going to take warm shade again on a larger brush, and I'm going to wash over that. like that. I'm getting close to ready to put my lashes on, so I'm going to put eyelash glue on them. I like to buy the more expensive, like glam type ones and then double stack them. And I've found that these are much more appealing to look at than like a 301 lash or something that's gonna overwhelm your eye. I've really found that smaller but bolder lashes have made a pretty big difference on my drag. And once the lash glue is on, you're gonna set it down and leave it for like 5 minutes. Don't even try to put it on while that glue is wet. You want that glue to be tacky or you are going to hate your life. So while that is drying, I'm going to curl my lashes. This is just the plain old Maybelline Great Lash. To get my mascara chunky so that when I put on the fake lash, it has something to rest on. And now that I've blended that out, I'm just gonna go back in and line it again. I'm gonna take a very bright white shadow and put that inside the eye. You can see that what I did there. Pop these on ever so gently. And that is how effortlessly they will go on after the glue has been sitting for a long time. That has made instantly a huge difference in the makeup. Back in, and this is one that's a little bit darker. And chisel. Ooh, one mistake that a lot of queens make is they'll take powder, like highlight underneath the contour, and you can do that, but one thing that's going to do is give you a highlighted jaw. So you just got to think about whether or not you want this part of your face to be highlighted, or if you want to oh my goodness, you know, it depends on what you're going for, but I've found that it's not for me to highlight my jaw. A lot of people don't really realize how much art theory goes into makeup, how much color theory, how much two-dimensional design, three-dimensional design, because really you are creating a sculpture with color and with depth and light on your face. It's all about light, it's all about tricking the light, creating new features, playing with light, playing with colors and products to achieve different appearances in light is essentially what drag makeup is doing. Now, I have difficulties with contouring my nose. My nose is an interesting shape. I broke it when I was younger, so I have a bit of a bump. And so because of that, I don't do any super harsh line, fluff it, and I let it know that I'm thinking about it, but I don't try and change it, and I don't go too hard. Take some powder. And personally, I think that looks quite nice. You are welcome to disagree. I don't care. I disguise the bridge of my nose just a little bit with freckles, and you'll see that momentarily. Next part of makeup is my absolute favorite part. I love blush so much. These are Makeup Geek blushes. They are matte. First, like to take the lighter of the two. And it gives you such a rosy, cute, youthful glow. I did the light blush, and now I'm taking the darker blush. You know Lamia is here when you see those beaming cheeks. I understand if not everyone wants to put on as much blush as I do, but I do not understand not putting on any. That's just crazy to me. I also take blush and I'll put it up. And I like to put it on the end of my nose. Once I've done my matte blush, I like to take my Nars blush, Orgasm. This has a sheen to it, and put that over it. More blush. All right, so we are super blushed. This is my other favorite part. They make me so happy. So yeah, I love freckles. So I use a liquid lip. This is a NYX liquid suede lip. I don't know what shade. It's a tiny applicator. And then I just go to town. They literally just make me like so happy. Like I put them on and I start smiling. It's like, it's so stupid. This is kind of what I mean when I say disguise the bridge of my nose. I sort of just put them there, allow them to disguise any sort of haphazard contouring issues I might have going on. I love my freckles so much. It makes me so happy. It's so dumb. I am dumb. I realize that. With drag, you are overdrawing your lips, but then you also want to make sure you're overdrawing them in the right places and not just doing, you know, some giant like crayon. Like you don't want to look like a kid that got into their mom's makeup. For me, what that means is overdrawing up and below, but not going much farther than my mouth on either side. I just take a lip liner, follow the bow area. Something like that, you know, you get the idea. Okay, so this looks bad. And I'm gonna take a darker lip line, start at the bottom. Now that I have my shape lined out, I can go in with a liquid lip. Pretty good. I'm not mad at it. Hoola liquid glitter. I'm gonna pop that right in the inner corner. Right to the center of my face, just like boom, light. When in doubt, throw some glitter on it. It is drag after all. This highlighter is crazy. It's from this company called the Crayon Cace, and it is dangerous because it is literally getting everywhere right now as we speak. It is super fine, loose pigment. Get ready for this. You're gonna be shook. White liner. So for this part, you gotta get close. Hold your eye open. You can really see the difference between this eye and that eye. Boom, that is open and we are looking super natural. So now that pretty much does it for my face. So I am going to change real quick and I will be right back. Hello. I thought that I would slip into something a little more comfortable. I hope you don't mind. Okay guys, well that is pretty much going to do it for me in this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something. This is pretty much my standard like go-to Lamia face. Let me know what your thoughts are about my techniques. I actually had a lot of fun making this one and just talking and doing makeup. I love makeup so much. And it is really fun to just sort of geek out about it, even if it's about, you know, by myself. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram at Lamia Lexicon, on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. And yeah, until I see you guys next time, stay safe, wear your mask, vote, all that good stuff. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye.